Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ralph Rangnick confirms Jesse Lingard will leave Man United on TikTok. Rangnick has had a conversation with a fan. Now yesterday night it said Jesse Lingard's transfer to Newcastle is on the verge of collapsing following Manchester United's demands. It said Newcastle were prepared to pay a loan fee for Lingard, as well as the player's full wages. Jesse Lingard doesn't get in Manchester United's team, but he has been part of the club for a long time. He risen up our academy in that. Lingard's contract at Man United expires in the summer. I'm hearing that West Ham still want to re-sign him. At the second half of last season, Lingard endured a 4-month loan spell with West Ham. Apparently Lingard rejected an approach from Everton, and Tottenham have been interested in him. We may have to wait until the summer now to offload Lingard. Now, I want to give you some more news on Donny van de Beek. Fabrizio Romano has provided us with an update. He said Crystal Palace have submitted an offer to sign Donny van de Beek on loan. Crystal Palace have held positive talks with Manchester United. He said Rangnick is reluctant to allow Donny van de Beek to join Crystal Palace. Manchester United want Donny van de Beek's full wages paid. Valencia have also been interested. Don't forget Donny van de Beek rejected Newcastle. Any loan move will not include an option to buy, as Man United intend on keeping Donny van de Beek next season. Earlier on this season it did mention that Donny van de Beek was not allowed to leave Man United this month, and earlier on this season Van de Beek had a bust-up with his agent. You can't blame Van de Beek for wanting to leave, though. He didn't get enough opportunities under Solskjaer, and he certainly hasn't been given enough opportunities under Rangnick. Van de Beek has been at Manchester United for almost 2 years. He's only managed to score 2 goals for the club. Manchester United got Van de Beek for 40 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Now, as you all know, Anthony Martial has completed his loan move to Sevilla until the end of the season. No, Sevilla have not paid a loan fee and there's no option to buy, but Sevilla are paying Martial's wages until June. This morning I gave you the news on Cristiano Ronaldo. El Nacional said that Cristiano Ronaldo wants Real Madrid return. Before, Ronaldo endured 9 years with Real Madrid. Ronaldo has asked his agent Jorge Mendes to find him another club. It did say that Ronaldo will leave Manchester United in the summer if they fail to qualify for the Champions League, and he faces a 25% pay cut should Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. Ronaldo did recently play in the 1-0 win against West Ham. He played very well. He played a part in Rashford's winning goal, and he could have won a penalty in the first half. He was a doubt for the game against West Ham because prior to the game he picked up a neck injury, but obviously recovered from that neck injury. He's had a few injuries since he re-signed for the club. Don't forget Ronaldo was furious for being substituted against Brentford, but Ralph Rangnick defended his decision to substitute Ronaldo against Brentford. But a couple of weeks ago now, Ronaldo gave an interview and he was very critical of the youngsters, so reflecting on that, he's demanding more from the youngsters. And Ronaldo said, that Ralph Rangnick will do a good job at Manchester United. And Ronaldo also said, I'm not at Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. He said, finishing below 3rd is unacceptable. Since Ronaldo re-signed for the club, he's scored 14 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career. Manchester United re-signed Ronaldo last summer for 20 million, with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt, and Ronaldo's got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. But he is the best player in the world overall. He's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. The transfer window shuts in 5 days now. Manchester United have not yet made a signing in this January transfer window. There's a lot of players that Manchester United have been linked with. Now, there's been a lot of narratives coming out about Boubacar Kamara from Marseille. Spanish outlet Marca said that Man United are in pole position to sign Marseille midfielder Boubacar Kamara. Marseille want just 10 million for Boubacar Kamara. Boubacar Kamara wants in the region of £150,000 a week if he's to depart Marseille this month. Leeds have been in for him, Aston Villa have been in for him, and Marca did mention that Real Madrid and Barcelona have been in for him. Boubacar Kamara is out of contract at Marseille in the summer. He's 22 years of age. He's mainly a defensive midfielder, but he can be deployed as a centre-back. He's been a very long-serving player at Marseille. He's been with them for 17 years. He came up their academy. He joined Marseille's academy back in 2005. Since he broke into Marseille's senior squad, he's made over 100 appearances. So, could Kamara be the first signing of the Rangnick era? There has been reports coming out about Luis Diaz from Porto. He said Man United reportedly sent scouts to watch Porto winner Luis Diaz in action last week. Luis Diaz has a £67 million release clause. He's got 2.5 years left on his contract at Porto. He's been at Porto since 2019. Porto got him from Junior. They paid €7 million. Luis Diaz is the age of 25. Liverpool have been linked with him as well. Now I'm hearing Tottenham have been in talks with Porto to sign Luis Diaz, and Tottenham are prepared to pay £46 million. Man United have also been linked with Amadou Haidar from Leipzig. Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham have also been long-term targets. Manchester United had tried to sign a midfielder because when Rangnick first came in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. And like I say, players will depart the club this year, but I think most of our outgoings will be in the summer. Edison Cavani, he'll probably leave in the summer, because revert back to earlier on this season, Ralph Rangnick revealed that Edison Cavani wants to stay at Man United until the end of the season. Cavani's contract at Man United expires in the summer. Cavani recently came on in the 1-0 win against West Ham, and he got the assist for Marcus Rashford's winning goal. There was a lot of people saying that he was offside, Cavani's just come back from injury. Earlier on this season he had a couple of injuries. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Last year Cavani was linked with Barcelona. It actually said that Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Juventus were also linked with him, and last year Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Man United are going to be loaning Amad Diallo out. Juan Mata, he'll also leave the club this year. Obviously Juan Mata's been refusing to sign a new contract. Mata's out of contract at Man United in the summer, because revert back to last year, Man United extended Mata's contract for a further year. Mata doesn't get in our team. He lost his place in the team a while ago, didn't he? And he's ageing up and he's lost that yard of pace, but despite that, Mata's had a good career at Manchester United. Mata's made 276 appearances in all competitions and he's scored 51 goals. Juan Mata's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so reflecting on that, he's been a long-serving player. Back in 2020, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014. Manchester United paid 37.1 million. Lingard, yeah, he'll leave this year. If he doesn't leave in this window, he'll leave in the summer, like I've just said earlier on. Donny van de Beek looks like he's going out on loan to Palace. Matic, he'll also leave the club this year. Matic isn't one of our first choice midfielders, but despite that, he still seems to get his opportunities. Matic is only the predominant centre defensive midfielder Man United have got. I've always had my reservations about him because he's always been a static midfielder, plus he's aging up. He's had his good games though at Man United. Matic is out of contract, I think, in the summer. Matic has been at Manchester United since 2017. We got him from Chelsea for £40 million. Paul Pogba, there's a very good chance he'll be departing the club in the summer. He's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Now, revert back to the other month, the Sun did report that Man United offered Pogba a new £500,000 a week contract. That would have made Pogba the highest paid player in Premier League history. But Paul Pogba came out and denied that he'd been offered that contract. The other week, Paul Pogba apparently told Manchester United that he wants to join Real Madrid in the summer. But he said PSG is the most likely destination for Pogba. Pogba's already held talks with PSG. Pogba's set to return to action for Man United after the international break. Rangnick confirmed that the other week. Pogba's been out with injury for a while, but revert back to the start of the season when he was fit, he did very well. He's got 7 assists so far in the league this season, but 4 of those assists came against Leeds on the opening day. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. Manchester United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, is our most expensive signing at the moment. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's played 212 games and scored 38 times. Phil Jones and Eric Bailly, they'll be departing the club this year. Phil Jones obviously doesn't get in the team. Jones played in the game against Wolves at Old Trafford. That's because Maguire picked up an injury. It was Phil Jones' first Premier League appearance since January 2020. At one point, Jones was out with a knee injury for a while. Did you know that Jones is only the outfield player that's still at Manchester United since the Sir Alex Ferguson era? Jones has been a long-serving player at the club. This season is his 11th season at Man United. And as for Eric Bailly, he's another one that doesn't get in the team much. The last game Eric Bailly played was the 3-1 win against Burnley. That was the final game of last year. Bailly came off injured in that game. Bailly's obviously at the African Cup of Nations at the moment. And Man United will look to get rid of Dean Henderson permanently this year. Dean Henderson is our second choice goalkeeper. So there you go. As you all know, Ralph Rangnick has been Manchester United's interim manager for almost 2 months now. Rangnick has managed 10 games so far as Manchester United's interim manager. He's only lost 1 game so far. Rangnick will receive a £500,000 bonus if he leads Manchester United to a top 4 finish. Rangnick earns £180,000 a week. Rangnick is Manchester United's interim manager till the end of the season. And then it did say Rangnick will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. Do you think there's a chance that Manchester United will offer Rangnick the job on a permanent basis? Well, Gary Neville's actually backed Rangnick for the permanent role at Man United. There's been some good performances under Rangnick, there's been poor performances as well. Don't forget, prior to the Brentford game, Rangnick announced Manchester United's new formation. It's the 4-3-3 formation, and to be honest with you, that formation seems to suit our standards under Rangnick. Obviously, Rangnick scrapped the 4-2-2 formation because quite clearly that formation wasn't working. Revert back to earlier on this season, it did say that Ralph Rangnick was under pressure. And it mentioned that, he was losing the dressing room and 17 Manchester United players were unhappy and wanted to leave. But revert back to earlier on this month, Rangnick got told that he has transfer funds available this month, and it did say, he would be backed by the Glazers. Before Manchester United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. He's brought 3 additions to the club, hasn't he? Because earlier on this season he brought Ewan Sharp in as an assistant coach and analyst. He also brought Chris Armisen as an assistant coach, and he brought Saz Chalens in as a sports psychologist. I'm hoping Manchester United can win a trophy this season. Manchester United have not won a trophy since 2017. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. It said a couple of days ago now, like I updated you, that Manchester United have drawn a 4-man shortlist to replace Rangnick in the summer. The Athletic said that Pochettino, Eric Ten Hag, Luis Enrique and Gilles Lopetegui are top candidates. Rangnick actually wants Eric Ten Hag to become Manchester United's next manager. There's a lot of Manchester United fans that would like to see Eric Ten Hag get recommended in. Got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's won a couple of titles with them. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. and I like the way he develops young players. And I think if he came to the Premier League, he would replicate what he's done at Ajax. He's been Ajax manager for 5 years. He got appointed in back in 2017. His contract at Ajax expires next year. He managed a few clubs before Ajax. Before Ajax, he managed Utrecht. Before then, he managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then, he managed Go Ahead Eagles. And Mauricio Pochettino, he's been relentlessly linked with a permanent role at Man United. And Luis Enrique, don't know much about him, I just know he's a Spain coach. And Julen Lopetegui, he's obviously the manager of Sevilla. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. Since Ferguson, we sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. But like I say, Manchester United have not been the same team since Fergie retired, and we've got to accept that no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did. Ferguson brought success to Manchester United. He won 30 odd trophies, including 13 Premier League titles, but he didn't settle in straight away, Ferguson, because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Man United. Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United for 26 years, so reflecting on that, he was a very long-serving manager. But since Ferguson retired, Man United must have spent around 1.2 billion. We've brought over 40 odd players in since Ferguson retired. Let me put into the equation that none of this squad is Rangnick's. Rangnick's obviously inheriting players who other managers brought in. Let me be honest with you, Ed Woodward, he's been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time, and I'm glad that he's leaving. Woodward's stepping down at Manchester United at the end of this month. Revert back to April last year, it got announced Woodward was leaving, when that European Super League came into the equation. Woodward's had, a 17-year association at the club. Richard Arnold will be replacing Ed Woodward as the chief executive. And the Glazers, they've been one of the biggest issues at the club for a long time as well. The Glazers have owned Manchester United for around 16 and a half years. They bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. Revert back to April last year, if you do remember rightly, Man United fans protested against the Glazers at the Carrington training ground and Old Trafford because the Glazers were planning to scrap the Champions League for that European Super League. So there you go. Manchester United recently beat West Ham 1-0 at Old Trafford. Reflecting on that win, that moved Manchester United into the top 4. The goal against West Ham came from Marcus Rashford in the 93rd minute of stoppage time. Manchester United's next game is Middlesbrough in the FA Cup 4th round at Old Trafford. It's next Friday, the 4th of February. The last time Manchester United played Middlesbrough was back in March 2017. Manchester United won that game 3-1. Man United progressed to the 4th round of the FA Cup by beating Aston Villa 1-0 in the 3rd round. Like I say, Man United will be going into the game having won the last 2 games in a row. Middlesbrough, they got to the 4th round of the FA Cup by beating Mansfield in the 3rd round. Middlesbrough, of course, are in the Championship. Don't know how they're doing because I don't follow the Championship. Obviously, their manager is Chris Wilder. Middlesbrough appointed Chris Wilder in last year to replace Warnock. I think Middlesbrough did sack Warnock last year. Chris Wilder's managed quite a few clubs in his managerial career so far. You know, before Middlesbrough he managed Sheffield United. Before Sheffield United he managed Northampton. Before then he managed Oxford. Before then he managed Halifax. And before then he managed Alfred Town. I think at one point Chris Wilder was the Bury assistant. I do know some of the players that Middlesbrough have got. Obviously they've got Andras Sporer, Isaiah Jones, Josh Coburn, they've got Riley McGree, they've got Johnny Howson, they've got Neil Taylor, Matt Crooks, they've got Mark Boller. Mark Boller's out with injury at the moment. They've got Marcus Brown. He's also out with injury. So they are some of the players that Middlesbrough do have. Manchester United's next league game is Burnley. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.